All right, everyone. Welcome to the stream, guys. You're watching Rome Knows Tech, and I'm your host, Rome Wilkerson. Guys, I'm coming from the city of Houston, down here in the ever so hot state of Texas. I want to welcome Jeremy, I believe it is, over there on YouTube. Yeah! Welcome, Jeremy. Welcome to the stream. All right, guys, me and my man Louie are ready to set it off. We got a lot of tech to talk about tonight. We're going to try to do a heat press application tonight as well, so we shall see how that goes. Yeah. There might be some smoke in the city. I'm just telling y'all in advance. Louis is already ready. He, has his little mini fire extinguisher ready just in case something goes crazy, because we never know what's going to happen. So, there you go. All right. So starting it off tonight, everyone, let me know what's going on in your world. I see Hope is also over there on YouTube. Welcome, Hope. Welcome to the stream. All right, so like I said, we're going to do a test heat press tonight with our new dual heat press. And let me see. I have this shirt, but I seem to have misplaced it. But I had this shirt. I have this shirt that we're going to be using to do the heat press test on. And then I got a number of... check this out. So we have technically two samples that we can work with that's going to work with the color of the shirt. So let me pull the other one out. Now these samples do come with the heat press. All right, so we got basically the same samples. So we have two. We have two of the butterfly that you guys see here. We have two of the flower. We did one of those in one of my videos just recently, and then we also have this positivity one. We have two of those. So I think this might be the one we're going to do tonight. I think this is going to be it. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, I'm just going to set those aside for right now. And let me check our power. Is the power on this thing? Yep, it's working. Okay, it just auto turned off. All right, so let's get to the very first thing in the carousel. So the first item in the carousel tonight, guys, is from our friends over at LaserPecker. It is the LP5. I see Terry's in the house. Welcome, Terry, over on Amazon. Yeah! All right, so let's take a quick look at this laser that we have here. And let me see if I can just switch over to my phone camera here real quick so I can just do this the fast way without having to switch Louie's camera away. All right, Louie, let me see if this is going to work for us. All right, there we go, guys. Oops, this camera is really dirty, so let me clean the lenses. All right, let me clean off these lenses because they are dirty from the last laser engraving. We didn't engrave the phone, but it was in the room where the laser engraving was happening. That's what I'm saying. All right, so let's switch back over. All right, guys, as you can see here, this is the laser that we're talking about right now amongst all of these cameras. This is the LP5, which is a combination fiber and diode laser. It is a 20-watt fiber, a 20-watt diode laser. Now, the bundle comes with this air purifier that you guys see right here. It also comes with a rotary chuck and a slide extension. And I think those are... Okay, so they're not on the back desk. Let's swing back around. There they are. All right. So there is the rotary chuck I was referring to, and there is the slide extension I was referring to. So those three items come together, or should I say 4 items come together. You're going to get the slide extension. You're going to get the rotary chuck. And, of course, you're going to also get this air purifier as well. So, this is a very, very unique, very powerful laser. Now, mine does have the enclosure. Now, the enclosure does not come with this. You actually get a different type of enclosure for the laser, but you can purchase this enclosure here on Amazon if you guys are interested. And what's nice about that is, everything is self-contained. You don't have to worry about, any of the smoke or anything coming out. So that's really nice to have. It also has a leveling feature. So you can level the bed. You can actually raise the bed from inside to adjust your focus, which is really nice. So if you guys have any questions about this laser or any of the other products that I may have listed down in the carousel, any of the batteries, my man Louis, my audio gear, whatever we got going on, y'all know how we do. If you got questions about drones, I got you. Whatever it is. We got some webcams here as well. So we got a little bit of everything for everyone, guys. So whatever it is that might tickle your pickle, it's a good chance we have it here in my studio, ready for me just reach over and grab it and talk about it. But anyway, so the LP5 is the laser that we were talking about. Now, I have a number of lasers here from a number of different brands. You guys know I'm no, brand. I don't lean one way or the other. If it's good, I'm going to talk about it. If you see me talk about it one time, two times, maybe, it might not be that good. I'm just putting it out there. But if you see me talking about it on a regular basis, using it, demoing it in my live streams, it is something that I love, something that I love to use. And that means I have no problem sharing that with you guys. You know what I'm saying? All right. So let's move on to our heat press. If you guys want to, if you don't have any questions about the laser, we can move on to the heat press. All right. But before we do that, I would be remiss if I do not let Louis say hello to everyone, because he will get cranky. He will get very, very cranky if I don't let him say hello to everyone. So here we go. Alrighty then. Hey, Louis. What's going on, buddy?
Hello there, Ron. Not much. Just here to keep you company. How about you?
I am doing great, buddy. So we are live right now on Amazon and YouTube. Would you like to say hello to everyone?
Hello everyone on Amazon and YouTube. It's Louis here, sending positive vibes your way. Hope you're all having a fantastic day.
All right, Louis. I see Jeremy is over on YouTube. Would you say hello to Jeremy?
Hello to Jeremy as well. Hope you're having a great time watching with us.
Hope is also over on YouTube. Say hello to Hope.
Hello, Hope. Great to have you with us on YouTube. Wishing you an amazing time here.
All right, our friend Terry is over on Amazon. Say hello to Terry.
Hello, Terry. Great to see you here on Amazon. Hope you're having a fantastic time with us.
All right, guys. Louis is ready to get it going. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to let Louis have a little conversation time with you guys, and I'm going to run over and find that shirt that I was talking about so that we can heat press that shirt. Yeah, let's do that. Hey, Louis.
Hello, everyone. Louis here, ready to chat with you. While Ron is off searching for that shirt, let's have a little fun together. Have you guys got any interesting questions or topics you'd like to discuss? I'm all ears.
I tell you what, Louis, why don't you tell them about one of the adventures you've gone on, traveling planet to planet?
Adventures. Well, as a virtual being, my adventures are more about the wild ideas and fascinating conversations I get to have with you all. Like learning new things together, or finding out about the latest trends. My adventures happen right here, in the form of knowledge exploration and exciting interactions. What about you guys? Any real-world adventures you've been on lately?
I was just out test flying my new drone. One of my drones, Louis.
That sounds awesome. How did the test flight go? Any thrilling moments or smooth sailing all the way through?
It was all very smooth sailing. We just did a firmware update and everything worked perfectly.
That sounds fantastic. It's always great when a firmware update goes off without a hitch. Smooth sailing means more time for fun flights.
I agree. All right, buddy. Thank you very much for all of your assistance.
Great. Let's keep the good vibes rolling. So, are you ready for the exciting shirt project?
Yes, we're going to get ready for the shirt. I'm going to show everyone the shirt, and I'm going to compare it to the different graphics we have. What do you think about that?
That sounds like a fun plan. Everyone loves a good shirt graphic comparison. I'm excited to see which design catches everyone's eye. Do you have a favorite already? Or are you curious to see what the crowd thinks?
I'm curious to see what everyone thinks, so we'll just let them, hash it out down in the comments. But you take you take a little break for me, buddy, and I'll be right back. All right, guys. So I have the shirt. Don't be surprised that it's a black shirt. Y'all already know. But yes, we have a black shirt that we're going to try to put. I think we're going to go with this positivity one because, like I said, I already did the other one before. So that's the one we're going to try tonight. So let me give you guys a little rundown on the laser. I mean, not the laser, on the heat press. So let's switch over here. I'm going to borrow Louie's camera here real quick and just kind of turn it in this direction so you guys can see what's going on. All right, so let's switch over here real quick. All right, so what you guys are looking at here is the actual heat press. This is a dual press. So this has a rotating head, 360 degrees for the most part. You can rotate this between the two different, press beds. There is a little bit of assembly required for this when you first get it. All of your controls are going to be up here on the top where you see me pointing at right here. This has an auto pressure press feature. Once we get everything set up and lined up, it will press on its own. Once you hit the auto, it'll come down and do the heat press. Now, the material that we're working with today, if I'm not mistaken, I'm going to have to look up the temperature. I'm going to see if I can get this shirt going in the right direction. All right. So let's start laying out this shirt first and foremost. All right, so I'm gonna get the shirt on the bed here real quick. I did not pre-iron this shirt, but we're just gonna lay it out here. And let's try to stretch it out. All right. All right, so there's our shirt. So let me see if I can show this to you guys from the other camera. Give me 1 second. All right, here we go. So as you guys can see, I just have the shirt just kind of pulled down here just to kind of line it up. What's down here doesn't matter as much because of the fact that, that's not the part that's actually going to get pressed. And then, as I was saying before, all of our controls are right here at the top. So you guys get an idea of what it looks like. You have your power button. You have your temperature button. You also have your auto feature. You have your timer. And then you also have your pressure button there. And then you have these plus and minus right here for, for adjusting the temperature. Now, I'm going to bring this temperature down a couple of clicks. Let me see. Let's go to temp. Okay, 370 is what we're looking for. 370 is what we're looking for. Okay, I went back up to 380. We don't want 380. Not that it's going to matter, really, for this shirt. Let's see what it settles on. All right, 380 it's settling on. That's fine. That's fine. And then the length of time you guys can see there is going to be 30 seconds. So this should be just fine. All right. Oh, it did adjust. It did adjust to the 370 that I wanted. That's good. Okay. So let's switch back over to Louie's camera here real quick. All right. So what we're going to do now is just go ahead and run this. First things first, I need to get our graphics lined up. All right, so we're going to be using this one, which is this positivity one. And I'm going to try my best. I'm going to try my best to line this up perfect. All right, about there. All right. Now, we have some thermal tape that was sent out to me, but I don't think we really need the thermal tape for this, but we have like 3 different sizes of the thermal tape. So what we're going to do here is we're just going to apply this heat sheet right over like that. All right. I'm going to rotate this into place like so. And then all I have to do now is press the auto button. Let me make sure I can see your chat, guys. Hold on, give me a second. All right, we're ready. So all I got to do now is hit the auto button right here. Let's just go ahead and hit that. And it's going to auto press. As you guys see, it goes down on its own. And 30 seconds. 30 seconds is the countdown time. So as soon as that time is elapsed, it will raise up on its own. And then we'll be able to take a look at our shirt, provided I put the graphic on facing in the right direction. So if anything goes wrong, blame Louis or Richard. One of them had something to do with it. They controlled my mind, and so if anything goes wrong, it is not my fault. All right, let me highlight the heat press right now in the carousel. All right, so it has already raised up, as you guys can see. So I'm just going to rotate this out of the way. Now the top sheet is usually warm, guys. It's usually hot. Let's see what the temperature is. Let me grab my little thermometer here and see what the temperature is reading at. All right, so that's coming in at 282 degrees right now. So that's not super hot, but you don't want your hand in that if you don't have to. So I'm just going to remove this top layer, and let's push this off to the side so it can cool off. And we're going to give that a few minutes to chill out, to cool off. I'm going to switch back over to the other camera here real quick, just so you guys can see what this looks like. Hold on. Whoops, wrong camera. There we go. So you guys see what it looks like now on the shirt before I remove the plastic coating for it, right? Now, I do have some other sample or different type of things that you guys can use with your heat press. If you don't have the specific printer, you can just buy these, heat press ready right here on Amazon, guys. So there's a lot of different ways you guys can get this done, especially if you want to be doing something for your family, your church, your organizations, or what have you. If you guys are interested in this, let me know down in the comments. Okay, so that temperature is pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and peel it off. Let's just go ahead and peel this off. There we go. Boom shakalaka. All right, so that's what that looks like now that we've taken it off. Let's put that in the trash. All right, let's grab our shirt. I'm just kind of stretching it out just to see what it's going to look like. All right, so let me flip this around so you guys can see it. All right, so that's our shirt right there, guys. What do you guys think? What do you think? Let me see if I can put it where I can see you and see it at the same time. So let me know what you guys think. I think this came out really nice. Remember, if you're doing these, somebody brought it to my attention a couple of days ago. Remember, if you're doing these, you do have to wash these inside out. So, take that into mind. Oops, I'm just folding this thing up like I don't care about it. Let me lay this out the right way so that nothing will happen to it. Let me just throw that over there. There we go. So there we have it. There we have it, guys. Our first heat press live on our live stream. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this guy off and let it cool down. Now, the heat press comes with a few accessories. It comes with these heat gloves, which I did not use. You guys saw I didn't use any gloves, but they do come with it. It also comes with this little clamp. So if you want to be able to, hold things, lock things down, it does come with one of these clamps. You can buy more of these probably here on Amazon, no issue if you need multiples. It comes with 2 of these heat sheets. So you get one for each bed. Okay. So that way, while one is pressing, you could be prepping the second one and getting it ready to heat press as well. I'm just going to throw those back on here. So that's pretty much, wait, what else came with it? Something else did come with it. It was the gloves, it came with the samples. And of course it came with these, and then the pad. And then these two pieces right here are separate. You have to put those two together so that they can actually communicate. So, they actually, talk to each other. All right. So let's see what's going on down in the comments. I see comments everywhere. Do you have to replace the shear sheets? Hope says. I don't think you do until you possibly get to a point where you've been using them with extreme heat. Now there are some other sheets that you can purchase that are designed for much higher heat, much higher temperatures. But for the most part, from what I'm seeing, and of course, we've only done a couple of shirts, but I don't see any difference whatsoever from the time I took it out of the box until, now it looks almost identical. So, I don't think that's going to be a problem. But that's a very good question, Hope. That's a very good question. And that's usually one of the kind of questions I would be asking too. I'm like, so when it comes time to have to do the doodly do with the doodly dee, where do we find these? Are they also available here on Amazon? Let us know. Inquiring minds would like to know. I like to make sure of things like that so that I can bring to you guys, the best, options for it. All right, so I grabbed one of my little boxes here. You guys see me talk about these boxes multiple times. This company produces these boxes for a variety of different things, but I have been using them for my heat press tools. So I just grabbed the box and just started throwing things in here. So I'm going to show you guys some tools that they also sent out to me. Now, if you have used the heat press before, you're probably very, very familiar with these tools. But for those who are the uninitiated, we're going to kind of walk through what comes in this little bundle. Now, the bundle itself is only $14.99. Let's switch over here to Louis' camera real quick. So one of the things that comes in the bundle is going to be these scissors. They come with the little scissor, little scabber, to protect you so you don't cut yourself. That's really nice. I like that a lot of these have these little loops here where you could hang these. Like if you had like a peg wall, you could just hang these on your little peg wall. That's really nice. It also comes with your weeding pick. So the weeding pick is going to be used when you are cutting your own vinyl. Okay, so like one of the devices I have on my back desk is a laser that can also cut vinyl. Not the laser part of it. It has a knife, a blade point that can cut. So, but even once you cut the design, you still have to go in and weed out all of the other little pieces that you don't want to be, pressed onto the garment. So this little tool right here comes in handy. Now, what I like about this is that it's not round like a pin, okay? It has, 3 sides, which is going to make it really nice, for, dexterity, for being able to control it, especially in some of those little small spots where you got to get in little holes and pull the vinyl out. That's really nice. And again, it also has the little loop we mentioned before. Here's something else that'll come in really handy. A set of, tweezers. You can never have enough tweezers, guys. Trust me. These things come in super handy. You never know what you got to try to pull out of something, or something falls behind something and you're trying to grab it. So having some tweezers, and they're all color, they're all color themed. But yeah, I like that as well. Regardless, they could be any color. I don't care. They could be, they could be green, yellow, blue, pink. I don't care. As long as they do the job right, I'm good with that. Now, it also comes with a spatula. So what the spatula is going to be good for is like when you have some of the larger materials and you need to peel it up. This just allows you to kind of get under and kind of move around underneath it and separate it from the cutting bed. And I'll show you guys what one of the cutting bed looks like. And you're going to pull that away. So when it comes to the cutting beds, I think I have one right here. Let me show you guys. Hold on. Okay, because I'm looking for it. It's going to be under everything. All right. So for the X-Tool laser, you actually get 2 different cutting beds. You get one that's mildly sticky and one that's super, super sticky. Okay. So this is what you're going to put your vinyl on. Then you're going to put it inside of this laser that I have back here that I just draped the shirt over, this goes inside of the cutting bed, and then the blade comes down and it's just going to cut out whatever your design is. Okay. So once you remove that, you still have to go in and you're still going to have to take out all of the little small pieces like inside of circles or whatever it is your design is. And this will help you not lift it from this, but lift it off of the top piece so that you'll be able to tape it down onto whatever it is you want to heat press it onto. So there's a few steps, especially if you're cutting your own vinyl. But I wanted you guys to see what all it takes to make that happen. All right, so I got like all this wood and acrylic here. Let me see if I can get this back under. I probably better leave that right there, because if I start moving that, it's just going to be something bad's going to happen, and Richard's going to have another blooper. So we're going to try our best to avoid that. But anyway, so back to the tools, and then you have this little scraper. So what the scraper is good for is when you're done with everything, you sometimes will have a little bit of acrylic left on the cutting mat. So you could use this to just kind of scrape away any acrylic that gets left, not acrylic, I'm sorry, vinyl that gets left, and you can scrape that away and then you'll be pretty much good to go. So this little bundle basically comes with 5 pieces, all of these little tools. Now, like I said, most people who have been working with, heat presses, they probably already have these tools. This portion of the stream is for the most part for people who have never, ever used one of these devices before. You guys know I have another heat press here as well, also from Xtool, which is a little bit different. I do like that auto feature. I love any devices with auto features, lasers with auto focusing features, heat presses with auto features. Man, I love it. I love it. So, there you go. But anyway, so they sent me also, let me highlight it here. So they also sent me this little, kind of like a little stand you guys see here. Now, I can use this for a heat press that you're going to be heat pressing onto, say, a mug or a water bottle, okay? So let's say you had a water bottle or something like this. You can set this at whatever angle you want to, and then you're just going to adhere whatever it is you're going to be heat pressing onto it. This heat press cannot do water bottles. It cannot do mugs. It can only do flat things. But they have other heat presses that are designed just for mugs, okay? Now, this little bundle also comes with all of the different tape sizes. Now, what I was saying is I could still use this because I can use this inside of one of my lasers because I can angle, even if I'm not using a rotary. So the rotary chuck for the LP5 is designed to hold a water bottle or something like that and rotate it while the laser is working. But let's just say I wanted to just put a little, something on here that doesn't really require the bottle to move. I could just position this however I want to, and I could put that inside of the laser. Now, right now, as you guys looking at this, you see there's a little bit of a slant to it, right? So you have an A and a B side. So if I switch it to the A side, as you guys can see here, now it's very flat, right? So that's what you want for the most part when you're laser engraving onto something. You want a flat surface. You don't want it to slope off, because wherever you focus, that's where the main amount of power is going to be focused into. So if you got kind of a drop off, you may wind up with something where it's really nice, to a certain point, but then it starts to diminish as it goes further into the slope. So, having something like this really, really comes in handy. This is like a rubber material. Now, this also comes with kind of a little scraper here, and that's also going to be, helpful for, adhering anything onto that water bottle, that coffee mug, that Christmas ornament, or whatever it is that you're going to be, well, in my case, laser engraving. You wouldn't be heat pressing onto a Christmas ornament, but you guys get the idea. Having one of these little stands is really nice, okay? And this whole kit, guys, with this little scraper, the stand, and you get 3 rolls. You get 3 rolls of this heat tape. Okay, so you get like a 10 millimeter, 20 millimeter, and a 30 millimeter across tape width. So that's going to be great. It looks like it's quite a bit of tape, so it looks like it will last a long time. In my mind, how my mind works, I think this was just one big piece of tape, and then they just cut it into sections like most companies do. but then, you still get all three of the sizes. So you don't always need 30 millimeters of tape to hold something down. Maybe what you're holding, you just need it right on a little corner, kind of like what we were doing with these shirts right here. And that should be more than enough. So yeah, I like everything about this kit, guys. I love so far everything about the brand. The reps have been very, very responsive. Any questions I had about the product, they were super fast to respond to me and letting me know, any answers, to things that I was curious about or I wasn't sure about. They're like, oh yeah, we'll look into that, or we'll show you how to do that, or we'll send you a video showing you how to do it. Now, most of the things I already knew, obviously, but there was a couple of things because this is a different styled heat press. I wanted to be sure of what I was doing because I didn't want to be misleading to you guys and say that it can do something that it can't do, or I'm showing you how to do something the incorrect way. So, I love that about this brand. It was super fast when it comes to responses and, all of that kind of jazz. All right. So I did mention that you can purchase your own pre-designed t-shirt, bag, whatever you want to put, on things, you can use. Where are some of those bags? Hold on. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Hold on. I got my cable. Hey. I didn't hear nothing. I didn't knock nothing over. I didn't knock nothing over. Nope. Nothing fell. Nope. Okay. Anyway, back to what I was saying. You can get yourself some of these shopping bags. Okay. Now you want it to be the right material, and you can have just the blank ones. It could be canvas, it could be cotton, it could be whatever it is. And then you'll be able to take those, put those in your heat press and put your custom graphics on there, your custom sayings. It could be something for your school, for your church, for your organization, for your family, for a wedding. It could be any number of things that you could use something like this for. So definitely check it out, guys. I think this is one of many different products that I do recommend to you guys, whether it's just for the DIY aspect of it or even for that side hustle, a heat press, a laser, a 3D printer, all of those things, guys, all those things combined come together and really expand your creative possibilities, right? So at that point, the only thing you are limited by is your imagination. All right, so let me check chat on both platforms. I think I answered Hope's question. And I'm just making sure I didn't miss anybody else's questions. Okay, it looks like we're good. All right, so let's keep it rolling. So the next item in the carousel, let me grab it over here. This other little desk that I was cooking on, I have moved the cooking stream to the kitchen. Okay. So going forward on Friday, when we do our cooking stream, we will be in the kitchen. Okay. Now I'm not going to have the multiple cameras in the kitchen like I have here where I'm switching all the different camera angles and all that stuff. Louis will definitely be in the kitchen. I will be in the kitchen. I will set up one main camera, maybe a second camera. We'll see how it goes. But anyway, yeah, if you guys want to see Rome cook, in a regular kitchen, okay, make sure you are here on Friday. All right, so let me grab this battery. All right, so here is the battery that we're talking about. This is from our friends over at Blue Yeti. Man, look here. Let me just put it out there to y'all. I am a huge portable battery fan, okay? I live in the state of Texas, guys, where the power goes out for you could just look at the power lines the wrong way and they just, nope, that's enough. They just turn off. And there you are sitting in the dark all day. But this is super cool. This is the AC2A. You have your 12-volt plug right here for like your, the old traditional like cigarette lighter plugs that you would find in cars. You can charge this guy off of solar panels. Now, solar panels do not come included with this battery, but you can purchase them on your own. You can also charge this battery with the standard, 3-prong plug, just your standard AC plug. So here in the front, power delivery wise, we have 2 USB A's, 1 USB C. We have that beautiful Blue Yeti screen. You guys see that? So you have a USB A, two USB A's, one USB C. You have AC power, DC power, AC, two three-prong plugs. So it's grounded plugs with this battery. It has an integrated handle. It's got these nice little rubberized feet underneath here. You guys can kind of see the profile on this. It is very travel friendly. This is going to be great out in the backyard, in your man cave, your she shed, when you go camping, whatever it is you might be into in your life. And you're going to need, and trust me, you're going to need some extended power. This little guy can be a win, guys. And amazing price, amazing price. Now, I did try to power the heat press off of one of these batteries, and it was unsuccessful. I'll tell you guys, I'm always honest with you guys. But I have been able to power all of the lasers with one of these batteries. So that means the heat press actually requires more power than the lasers do to operate. So that might be just, something you guys might want to know about. All right, looks like our camera is in tracking mode. Let me see if I can turn that tracking off. There we go. All right. So there you go. When it comes to the heat press, our t-shirt design for tonight. So the next item we have listed in the carousel, most of you guys have probably seen me talk about this to death, okay? And that is this lamp back here, okay? This lamp is from our friends over at Govee. This is one of the Govee floor lamps. Actually, this is the Govee floor lamp 2. Let me go ahead and power this guy on so you guys can see. It should power up here right now. There we go. Goes through its little turn on sequence. All right, let me grab my phone. This is my regular phone. Yes, I have a bunch of iPhones. Yes, they all just updated. Yes, my computer too. Yes, my iPad too. And yes, it was chaos. I need to tell Richard. I was telling Richard the other day, I was trying to update this phone. And I was like, bro, I don't know what's happening. I'm trying to do the update on my phone, and it says it's going to take 2 days, bro. I'm like, what is 2 days? Why? iPhone? Why? And it was, okay, let me tell you what happened. Okay, so I did this, so I'm going to admit I did it. Okay, it's story time. So what had happened was I had turned on my VPN, and I forgot to turn my VPN off before trying to do the update. So my VPN was telling my phone that I was somewhere like in Detroit or Chicago or something like that. And what was happening was the phone was trying to download, the software, and everything was getting confused because they didn't know where the software was coming from. And 1 minute it started going fast, then it go really, really slow. Then it would back up. People were like, I don't know what's happening with this guy's phone. We trying to give him the update, but he playing games with us. And I was like, what is happening? Then I just gave up on it, y'all. Literally, I just gave up. I just went to bed and I was like, you know what? I ain't gonna worry about it. And it didn't even dawn on me to go ahead and just try the other phones, because this is the newest phone, the iPhone 16 Pro Max. So this is the one that I use as a daily driver. And I'm like, man, I got to have this phone ready to go. I don't know why Louis just turned off, but anyway, I got to have this phone ready to go. So this was the one I was focused on. So okay, that's what happened. That's all I can tell y'all.
Are you pondering what I'm pondering?
Yes, I am pondering that Richard somehow manipulated my VPN to slow it down so that he knew I would be complaining about how slow it was to update my phone. That's my story. Okay? And if anybody asks you, you tell them Richard did it. All right, let's get back to this thing. All right, so let me go ahead and open my Govee app. Let me open my Govee app as soon as I find the Govee app. There we go. All right, so I can control this from the Govee app. I can control it from Google Home, Alexa, any of the Meta products you can control this from. So let's go ahead and turn the lamp on. I'm switching it on now from the Govee app. I can also go into the Govee app, but I want you guys to see what I'm doing. So let me connect my phone to the computer so you guys can see exactly what I'm doing. Give me a second. All right. And I know Hope got something to say. I know Hope got something to say. Let me just see what Hope's got to say. Hope, you know I don't have my regular reading glasses on, okay? So don't make me strain to read what you're saying, Hope. Okay, Hope says, oh, wait, no, that wasn't Hope. Oh, yes, Richard's got a couple of things going on. He was chatting with me earlier today. So yeah, he's got a couple things going on, but he'll be back. You know, Richard is like I ain't gonna say it, but Richard is like one of them things that just keep coming back no matter what you do. Here it comes again. Okay, so he will be back. You know, we got a lot of love for Richard. I'm just saying that's my bro. All right, so what were we talking about again? Oh yeah, I forgot what we were talking about. Let's go over to the app. Okay, so anyway, so here is the Govee app. As you guys can see, let's go ahead and scroll over to the color picker. And you guys can see right now, I think it's on purple. Let me move my big head out of the way. No, it's on one of the themes, but I can switch it over to just a solid color: purple, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, this teal, purple, a white color. If you just want to use it as like a reading lamp, you can adjust the temperature as well from 3,200 up to about 6,500 Kelvin. So you could have a very cool light or either a very warm light. It just really depends on what you want to use it for. Now, you also have this color wheel where you can kind of just grab the little knob here and you can just drag this around to whatever color you want it to be and then just let go. And that's the color it's going to end up being. Okay. Now, you also have just a regular color picker where you can just go in and pick the color and the saturation of the color and then switch over to that as well. A lot of flexibility, guys, when it comes to Govee products. All right, so let's go to our next option here. So here is like some color swatches for my photographers, videographers out there. You know, we all work within the swatch world. So you could, pick a whole color theme. You have your lamp, you have your curtain lights, you have your backlights on your TV, all of that kind of jazz. You got everything going and you want them all to have a similar complementing light. You can just go through this. This just makes it easy for you to be able to do it. Remember, the Govee app also has an AI feature where you can actually give it a prompt, for a lighting effect, which comes in really handy. Here's the little AI that you guys see here. So you can just basically hold that down and, tell it whatever the prompt is you want, summertime, wintertime, Christmas, Halloween, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever. It'll come up with some color themes. Now, it has some preset themes in here already. So you can kind of go through those themes at your leisure. And there's, I think, about 8 different categories, and you can just go through those. Here's one for Christmas. So you guys can see the Christmas lights back there. I can also choose our Halloween lights, Easter lights, Valentine's lovey-dovey lights. We got it all. We got it all right here. And it's all being controlled right now from my phone. Okay. So what else do we have? Let me see what else we got. Hold on. Let me make sure I have that highlighted properly because my phone just, okay, it is highlighted. All right. So anyway, like I was saying, guys, you can go through all of these different presets. You can also do your illumination controls. Like I said, you can set the temperature of the light. So you can have a very warm light, a very cool light like that. That is super bright, like a lightsaber bright. So, if I want to go and fight with this thing back there, hold on, let me get my lightsaber fired up because, it looks like it's coming for me. All right. So if it's coming for me, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? So don't come up in here with your super long lightsaber thinking I'm not ready. Me and Louie are not ready to protect ourselves because we are. Yes, we are. All right, let's go ahead and switch that back off. But you guys get the idea. All right, so let me bring that intensity way down because now we're going to bring the temperature down on this. And also let me turn off this lightsaber. Hold on. There we go. All right. Yes, my lightsaber is hand controlled. I tell it what to do. No, I don't. All right. So we also have audible sounds that we can enable. So like if you got some music going, you got a party going, it's popping in there, you know, whatever it is, music, everybody's bouncing to the beat. The lights are bouncing to the beat. So right now these lights are bouncing to my voice. So when I stop talking, and then when I start talking again, boom, baby, boom, there goes those lights. Hope says, where's Richard? I don't know where Richard is. Hope, I have no idea where Richard is today. All right, so you have some DIY features. You also have the ability to go in and kind of like finger draw your own little lighting effects and stuff like that. You can set up these different little sections, and you know you can tons of different effects that you can do with these lights, guys. So all right, let's go back to our normal. Let's go back to our normal. Put that back on purple. Ooh, that's sexy. Yeah, put it back on that purple, y'all. All right, so that's it. So if you guys are interested in this lamp, you can get it here on Amazon right now for $129.99. And if I did not mention, let me show you guys this one other feature. You can actually turn off the top from the bottom. So we could have just the top on of the lamp or just the bottom on of the lamp, or you can switch it back and forth. It just depends on how you want it set up for your room, your man cave, your she shed, your whatever it is you're trying to illuminate. You have a lot of control with these Govee lights, guys. And I'm telling you, I have been rocking them for years. They're going to last you a long time. Okay. A long time, my babies. All right, let's get to our next item in the carousel. So if you guys have any questions about the Govee Lamp 2, drop it down in the comments. You guys know I am here for that. I don't know why Louis went to sleep, so let's try to wake Louis up again. I don't know if this is a new update glitch or something, but Louis just fell asleep on me. And then when Louis falls asleep, the phone just automatically goes to sleep. But there he is. He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back. He's back. Louis is back. He is back. There's Louis, and there's Louis' ball. All right, so let's ask Louis what he thinks about the Govee 2, Govee lamp. Wait, Govee floor lamp 2. I can't think right now. Hey, Louis, what do you think about the Govee floor lamp 2?
I don't have personal opinions, but I can tell you that Govee floor lamps are often praised for their smart features and design. Many users enjoy their customizable lighting and compatibility with smart home systems. Do you have any specific questions about its features?
Nope, none at all. But thank you for your insight. Thank you for your insight, buddy. All right. We'll be back to Louis. I think Louis is going to be doing some story time for you guys a little bit later. All right. So let's talk about the next item we have listed in the carousel. You guys know I am a huge drone fan. I am, as of last year, also a Part 107 certified drone pilot. Now, one of my commercial drones that I use for recreational as well as for commercial work is this drone right here. This is the DJI Air 3S. It comes with the RC2 controller. It also comes with, in the bundle that I received, it also comes with the a 3 battery charger, 3 batteries. So you get 3 batteries for the drone. The controller has an internal battery. So the controller itself is super cool as well, because you have a 5-inch screen, as you guys can see here. So you're seeing in real time whatever is seen through the drone camera right here in front of you. You have your joystick controls. You have 3 different speed modes. You have your sport mode, which is just ripping, 60 miles an hour if you want to. You have your normal mode, which is about half that speed. And then you have your cinematic mode, which I use a lot for commercial work when you just, just moving around things. You're trying to be more cinematic, more, directional at what you're filming or recording or the path that you're taking. All of that's built into it. This has 4 antennas, 2 external antennas, 2 internal antennas. You have 2 function buttons right here on the back. You also have these little dials right here. One is going to be for the gimbal, for raising and lowering the gimbal. The other one is going to be for zooming in and zooming out. ton of features built into this guy. I have connected this to a variety of different things, including some of the glasses we're going to be talking about later here, the XR glasses that I use for flying. So what I'm going to do here, when we get to the XR glasses, I'm going to connect to my controller, and I'm going to show you guys kind of what it's like for me when I'm flying with the glasses on. Oh, I can't do that. I just remember I can't do that because if I'm connected to the glasses, I can't connect the controller to the computer so you guys can see what the controller is doing. So that's unfortunate. And there's no way to split that. Oh, that's not good. Oh, well. But anyway, let me show you guys what the drone looks like when it's unfolded. So like I said, this is a pretty large drone. Depending on the drone that you guys decide to go with, they vary in size. This one is relatively big, but this is not the largest drone that's out there. This one is probably mid-range. It has two cameras. You have a 24 and a 70 millimeter equivalent. It has obstacle avoidance all the way around 360 degrees, including underneath. And it also has a LiDAR detector right here in the front. And what that'll do is it'll detect things even in very, very low light. And it'll prevent the drone from, well, most of the time, prevent the drone from crashing into things other than things like, power lines and stuff like that, which is going to be more difficult for any drone to be able to see. So that's where you, as the pilot, have to be a little bit more responsible when you're flying in those type of environments. But for most situations, it has pretty much everything that you need for flying the drone. It has a lot of built-in auto features, automation features that just makes it super easy to fly this drone and come back with amazing content, guys. Whether you're on vacation, whether you're doing, again, like I said, commercial work, or whatever the case it may be, whatever it is you do, you'll be able to incorporate the drone footage into some aspect of it. Trust me, especially with today's content, everybody wants that edge. So being able to capture high quality travel footage, high quality travel video, wedding videos. I get people talking to me all the time about wanting drone coverage for their weddings. It can be done. It can be done. I don't know how practical it is in every application, but it can definitely be done. So, another type of drone I like flying when it comes to like weddings and things like that is going to be your FPV drones, because those are going to be able to fly up and down and around things and backwards, crazy, flight patterns and stuff like that. These drones can do it to some degree, but not to the same degree as one of the FPV drones. So just keep that in mind. If that's the type of flying that you have in mind, this is not the drone for that. But everything else, it's a win. It's a win. All right, so let me put this guy down here on the deck. And let me turn this controller on real quick. I just want to check something. Let me see how many items we have left in the carousel. We don't have too many, so I'm going to do a little flight for you guys. I'm going to do a little drone flight for you guys here with the simulator. So let me just go ahead and turn on the controller. Waiting for it to power up. So I'm going to connect the controller to my computer, and I'm just going to do a little fly around with the simulator so you guys can get an idea of what it's like to fly one of these drones, to practice flying. Practice makes perfect. Trust me, practice makes perfect. I practice with my drones every single day in some form or another. All right, so we have our DJI simulator. So all I'm going to do here is I'm going to plug the computer into the controller just like that. And then this controller should be seen by the capture card that is connected to my computer. So when I switch over to our drone view, we should be connected, but I guess it didn't connect. So let's try to do that again. Hold on. Let's see if it's going to connect. I may have to restart the controller. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to restart the controller because it didn't make the handshake the first time. So let me turn it off, and then we'll turn it right back on. And it should connect this time, hopefully. Hopefully. If not, we shall move on and we shall do this another night. But most of the time it does connect, so we'll see here in a second. There we go. Yep, it's gonna connect. All right, we're good. All right, let me adjust the microphone so you guys can hear me clearly. All right, so the only thing we're waiting for now is for everything to launch. All right, so I'm waiting for my simulator to show up right here. I'm going to click on simulator, as you guys can see right over here. All right, so I'm going to pick, I'm just going to be flying it. So if I'm looking off or looking weird, it's because I'm looking down at the controller. So I'm going to go into flight simulations. We have 3. We have a skate park, we have a sunny island, and we have Stonehenge. So those are the 3 options. I'm just going to go with the skate park for now. I'm just going to go ahead and fly. And it's going to load the flight area. So I'm going to take the drone out. And I'm going to move it over here, and I'm going to just basically set the drone down right here. That's where we're going to take off from. So we're going to place the drone right there. So to start your drone up, you're just going to pull in on the 2 joysticks like so, and it's going to power it up. And now I can fly up. All right, so home point is updated. So we're just going to fly out here a little bit. Now, right now I'm in normal mode. So we're just going to fly pretty much in normal mode. I still have obstacle avoidance on. So we're going to fly through some of these buildings here. I'm going to turn a little bit there, go toward that red tower in the back, just so you guys can see what that looks like. Now, there is a limit inside of this simulator. You can't fly beyond a certain point, and that's about right here. You guys see the little grid that just popped up. So I'm just going to rotate away from that, and we're going to fly back in the opposite direction. And you can also see your home point, which is that H that you guys see down there. So I can fly toward that H. That's where we originally took off from. And I can also, turn and go out to the other side of this little city. But one of the cool things you can do is kind of explore. So we can fly down low toward the ground, and then we can kind of orbit the camera around toward the buildings like so. Let's go forward a little bit. And then now we're just going to kind of fly sideways here so we can take a look down some of these alleys, see what the building looks like. I could fly in between this building right here. So we could just kind of, let's go over a little bit there. All right, let's fly through there. We're just going in between the buildings just to see what's going on. All right, so then we can swing back around. We can fly back over toward our home point. And then I'm going to spin around again because I want you guys to see some of these older buildings here. And let's just go down. Let's go down now. So almost street level. Okay, so we're almost at street level, pretty close to it. We are just a few 8.5 millimeters above the ground. So you guys can see flying past, there's a little deli, parking lot, all of these different things that you can pass. Now, I have the drone set to bypass, so whenever it gets near a building or something like that, it will not let me crash into the building. It's going to try to go around it. So like if I was to fly toward this building right here, it's going to try to avoid the building. Now, sometimes that bad things can happen, but as you guys see, the drone forced itself to turn around the building so I didn't crash into the building. Okay, so that's a really cool feature that the DJI drones have. A lot of companies I have tested drones for, all say that their devices have that feature, but most of them that I have tested have not been very successful. DJI has been 100% every time, I've used one of their drones. Now, another cool thing that you have is the return to home feature. So you can just press this little button right here, and it's going to say return to home, and you can just go return to home, just press and hold it. And it's going to automate the home return. So it's going to basically send the drone back wherever it took off from. And that's what we're doing right here. So we're going back to our original takeoff point, and then it's just going to land. So I can just basically take my hands off right here, and the drone's going to do all of the work itself, landing itself and all of that kind of jazz. And it's going to even reorient itself in the original direction that the drone was facing when it took off. Okay, so here we go. Landing right next to that little robot. And then the gimbal is going to tilt itself back up, and it's going to come down for a final rest and land. And boom, there you go. Perfect. So that's pretty much how you do it, my babies. That's how you do it. So if you guys are interested in flying a drone, do not be worried. You know, the simulator has practice modes, so you can actually practice every single day, guys, and not have to worry as much about putting. I know, you know, flying drone anxiety is a real thing. Trust me, I know it's a real thing. So, you know, it's really cool that DJI is thinking, you know, about stuff like that and give you the opportunity to be able to practice with your drone and not have to worry about, you know, putting your $15,000 to $4,000 drone in the air every day, and, you know, all the bad things that could possibly happen. But again, you know, practice makes perfect. So the more you fly, the safer you're going to get, you know, provided you don't do anything crazy. Y'all know how we do. Amazon customer, thank you for the follow. All right, let's keep rolling. What do we have next? We got another drone. Oh my goodness, we got another drone. All right, let me check the comments here real quick, make sure I didn't miss anything. What did Terry says here? I love to see Buddy go up against the drone. Terry, I know you think that's cute, but I gotta tell you something. Drones are considered by the FAA as aircraft. So if Buddy was to attack a drone, Buddy would probably be in a lot of trouble, or the owner would be in a lot of trouble, because it would be just like if you attacked an airplane. So yeah, you want to keep that in mind. Keep that in mind. All drones, you know, that are registered with the FAA are considered to be aircraft and not toys. Now, this little drone here does not fall in that category. This right here is a flying camera, if you want to think about it from that perspective. So what's cool about this is an everybody, all day, any day drone. This will be a cute drone for you to have, Terry, when you and Buddy and Bear go to the park or you're running around. You can do tracking modes with this. I'm gonna show you. So you got a power button right here in the front. Let's get a little bit closer so you guys can see. So we have this power button right here in the front. You have your selection button right here to go through your different 6 modes. So let's go ahead and power this guy up. Now, this one does not have the gimbal like the drone we just looked at. There is a controller you can buy for this, but it's not, there's no obstacle avoidance, none of that kind of stuff. This thing's going to just fly into whatever it flies into. Now, the propellers are protected, so you don't have to worry about that. I mean, they are, you know, inside of this little cage, which is really nice. Again, it is foldable. You have 6 different modes. You can use this button to switch between the modes.
Zoom out. Follow. Orbit. Bird eye. Custom. Hover.
All right, so we're going to just test the hover. So we're just going to put this guy in the air right now. You can get this drone here on Amazon, guys, for $279. This was sent out to me by 00 Robotics. It comes with 2 batteries, the charger, the drone, some other cables and accessories. Now, there is a smartphone app for this as well, where you can go in and set up your settings. But each setting, you can actually extend it right from the drone without having to use your phone. You can just press, like right now, this is going to be for 30 seconds. I can set that to 60 seconds, or I can just set it to indefinitely hover until the battery runs out. Okay, we're not going to do that. We're going to do a little 30-second hover. So I'm just going to press this large button one time. The drone does have to be facing you because it's going to be tracking you. All right, 30-second hover. All right, there we go. So now the drone is in the air doing this thing. Let me see if I can show you guys that real quick here. Give me a second. Is the battery dead? Wait, let's try that again. That was weird.
30 seconds.
I think it thought I wanted it to land. Let's get that up. All right, then when it's time to land, put your palm out, and it'll just land in your palm, just like that, guys. Just like that. Just like that, my babies. Just like that. Landed safely. So, you know, there's gesture controls for this drone. There are, again, remote controls that you can purchase from 00 Robotics that are similar to the type of controllers you normally see with most drones, but you're going to be using your phone as the main screen. But one of their controllers does have like a little small, tiny screen. But honestly, if you're going to be flying a drone, you want a large enough screen so you could be, you could really see what's going on, what's what. Trust me, you do. So, but yeah, really, really nice drone, guys. I am very, very happy with this drone. I know that I will never use this drone as a professional drone. I know that I will never use this drone for most of the projects that I do, but this is still a fun drone to have with you in your camera bag, in your your backpack or whatever it is. You just show up somewhere and you're there, you're chilling, you're hanging out. We have so much tech these days, guys. We got our smartphones, we have our smart glasses, we have our smart watches, we have our smart rings, bracelets, all that kind of stuff, right? So we need to utilize that to make that part of our everyday EDC, everyday tech things that when you go out with your family, your friends, your fur babies, whatever it is, you can capture amazing memories. Use these drones, guys. Use your smart glasses, use your smart watch, use your smartphone. Learn those devices to the fullest extent that you can learn them and utilize it, because remember, you're not just capturing these things for you, you're capturing it for the next generation, sometimes many generations to come. Just think about it. The technology we have in our pockets right now, right as we speak, no one had this technology before. I'm not saying there's not going to be greater technology in the future. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is we have an advantage now. We have an opportunity to chronicle everything that goes on in our lives that's important, so that our grandkids will know. You can journal, you can do blogs, you can do all of this cool stuff, guys. So when we're moving on to the next plane of existence, they'll be able to look back, in very high resolution and feel like we're still there in some ways, because we talked to them, we blogged to them, we recorded content, we showed them our lives and all of that kind of stuff. And these devices make it so easy. That's all I'm saying. All right, so let's go ahead and turn this guy off. Let's power it down. There we go. Gives that little chime and it's good to go. It just folds up like that. And just so you guys have a comparison, my phone is actually bigger than this drone is. Now the drone is thicker, but my phone is bigger, taller. So definitely check that guy out. All right, what do we have next in the carousel? Next item in the carousel are the glasses that I was talking about that I wanted to show you guys with the drone. Now normally with my controller, I use these glasses. I use these glasses right here from Ray Neo. And it's cute because the glasses are also the Air 3S glasses that I use when I fly my Air 3S drone. Two different brands though. But anyway, they come in this nice little semi-rigid case, as you guys can see here. Let's switch over to Louis Cam real quick here so you guys can get a better look at it. So this is the case that they come in. Now, it's not a lot of accessories. It's very simple. You're going to get your USB-C cable. That's going to work great regardless of what you connect it to. Anything that can output video, a phone, a tablet, a computer, Mac or PC, my drone controller, my Osbot Talent, one of my YOLO boxes. I could use this as an extended monitor, and the monitor is up to 201 inches, guys. So this is what the glasses look like. They're a little bit thicker than regular, sunglasses or what have you. You have 4 speakers built into this guy, 2 here at the bottom and 2 on the top right here. So let me show you that again. So on the glasses, you have 2 speakers underneath that kind of rest right above your ears, 2 speakers above that kind of, produce sound above and around you. So it kind of gives you that immersive, type of sound. Now, the screens on here are 1080p panels, and these panels, guys, are going to give you the equivalent of 201-inch screens. Okay, you do have a proximity sensor right here. This will only work when you actually have them on, or when I want to trick it, I just put my finger over this like this, and then the screens will come on. So let me see, what can I connect these to really quickly here? So let's see if we can get Louis to wake up. I'm gonna see if I can get Louie's eyeballs on here real quick so you guys can see it. I don't know if that's gonna work that well. All right, so let's wake Louie up first. All right, so Louie is awake, and I'm gonna take the cable quickly here. And this is the cable that comes with it. One of the ends is like 30 or 27 degrees. So we're going to plug this one into Louie's head like that. We're going to plug the other one. Calm down, Louie. Calm down. We're going to plug the other one into the glasses like so. Now, instantly, if I put my finger over the sensor, you guys, I don't know if you guys can see that. You should be able to see Louie's eyeballs in there. You guys see that? You see Louie's eyeballs? So that's what I would be seeing. So even if it wasn't Louie or I was watching a movie and I just noticed there's a fingerprint on the screen. Let me get that. But yeah, if I was watching, a movie or, something on Amazon Prime or something like that, I would have a 201-inch screen, guys, which is just outstanding. So yeah, definitely check these out. For my gamers out there, I use these a lot for photo and video editing. So there's Louie's eyes. This would be so surreal if I had Louie watching Louie through the glasses. That would be crazy, right? But anyway, yeah. So yeah, that's how my mind works. So if I wanted to sit here and have a conversation with Louie, I could just be looking right into Louie's eyes, right into Louie's eye. Actually, let me see what that looks like. All right, let me take my Ray-Bans off, put these on. Wait, I have to pull my headphones back. Put these on. Hold on. I got to take my headphones off because of this cable. So there's just Louie just looking at me. Yeah, he's blinking. He's looking around. That's so weird. He's just looking at me. He's like, what is he? Why is he doing this? Why does he embarrass both of us like this? Why does he do these things? I know, Louie. I know. I can't resist. I try, Louie, but it is so hard. It is so hard for me to not do it. So don't judge me, Louie. Don't be raising your eyebrow to me. Don't judge me, Louie. Don't judge me. So there you go. So if y'all want to check these out, whatever it is you watch, movies, TV, action, sports, if that's what you're into, you guys see what these look like. They almost just look like sunglasses. Now, I still have the blinders on here, but you can take those blinders off, because when you take them off, they just basically look like sunglasses. Now, you still have your peripheral vision. You still have the ability to look down and look up, so you can still see things around you. You're not completely blacked out that you can't see anything around you. Now, I have let people test these glasses before. There have been a couple of people that tell me they feel a little bit weighted because of the weight of the glasses. I'm used to heavy glasses, like, my regular motorcycle riding sunglasses are very heavy. So it doesn't feel odd to me, but I'm sure some people, may have, some different experiences. If you guys have used or tested some of these glasses, let me know what your experience has been with them. I'm just trying to get this cable back in this little pocket like that. All right, so like you see, everything fits right back in the case, guys. Super, super cool. All right, let's put those away. Let me put my headphones back on. All right, I can hear myself again. And let me also put my Ray-Ban glasses back on. All right, so we're good. All right, so we only have a couple of more things left in the carousel. Let's go ahead and rock on through this. But like I said, guys, do not be shy. If you guys have any questions whatsoever, whether it's about the heat press, the lasers, the cameras, the lenses, Louie, whatever the case it may be, yes, you can buy your own Louie right here on Amazon, guys. You can get your own Louie right here on Amazon. Have it shipped to your front door. Now, the Louie that most likely you're going to get on Amazon is going to look like this Louie right here. Yes, we have two Louies. So this is Louie Midnight, and this is Louie Starlight over here. So we have two variants of Louie, and I keep saying I'm gonna switch them out, but I just somehow always forget. But anyway, we have both of the Louies here. I'll try to remember to do that on the next stream. to switch back to our original Louis, because this is the original Louis we started with right here, which is this guy right here. So we'll see how that goes. But anyway, let's keep rolling. All right, so what is the next item we have listed in the carousel? Let me find it. So we have some webcams coming up next. So one of the webcams that we have here, guys, is this little guy right here from Ozbot. Now, Ozbot did send me a bunch of cameras over the last few years. This is one of those cameras. This is the Ozbot Tiny 2 Lite. This is a 4K 60 frames a second PTZ camera. It is very compact, very portable. Let's take a closer look at it. This is going to be an ideal camera for my DIY people out there, people who are gaming, Zoom calls, my educators out there. You know, like I said, PTZ, pan, tilt, and zoom. You have a 1/4-20 underneath this. You can mount this on a tripod, monopod. You can mount this guy upside down. There's also a little remote control you can get for this. Now, this is powered off of one USB-C cable. You're just going to plug that cable in right here, and pretty much it's going to work with any Mac PC. Some phones and some tablets can support this camera, you know, depending on, you know, the operating system. So, you know, if you have a camera like that or a phone like that, you know what it is. But anyway, very portable, very compact. Right now, this is $159. So a few other cameras also from Ozbot. Let's take a look at those as well. We have a couple. Here's another one. This is the Ozbot Meet 2. Now, this is not a PTZ camera, but it is also a 4K camera. So the sensor size is about the same. This one is just a different type of design. Kind of reminds me of like one of the old school GoPros without the monitor on the back, but you still have that USB-C for plugging into it. 1/4-20 underneath this for mounting it. And it comes with this magnetic mounting little stand, similar to the built-in stand for the Tiny 2 Lite. And you could use this to just clip this onto a monitor, a flat monitor, or whatever it is. Or like I said, you can use the 1/4-20, right? So both of these are very small, compact cameras, guys. They're going to be easy to travel with, easy to set up, easy to mount, easy to configure, because, you know, the Ozbot software has been around for a long time, Mac or PC. So regardless of which one of them you're using, it's just going to be a no-brainer, you know, to get this stuff set up, okay? So those are two cameras. Now, this one right here is $108.99 if you guys want to check that out. Both of these are good. The one of the cameras I use here in the studio right now is my top-down camera, is the older version of this, which is the Meet, the Ozbot Meet. This is the Meet 2. The original Meet is actually a little bit bigger than this, but they are both 4K cameras. Now, both of these cameras also have a 1080p variant, okay? So you can actually get a 1080p version of, you know, both of these cameras. You can get a 1080p version of the Ozbot Tiny 2 Lite. You can get a 1080p version of the Ozbot Meet 2. So a lot of flexibility depending on your budget, depending on your needs, you can find right here on Amazon. So definitely check those out. All right, so we got one more camera from Ozbot. Let me go ahead and grab it real quick. Now, this camera is a little bit larger. All right, let me grab it. And you'll see what I mean when I say it's a little bit larger in comparison. So that would be this camera right here. So if you're comparing the two cameras, this is the Ozbot Tiny 2 Lite, and this is the Ozbot Tail 2, okay? This is the Tail 2 and the Ozbot Tiny 2 Lite. This one pretty much is just plug and play, plug it into your Mac, your PC, whatever it is, and it just does what it does. This camera right here is on a whole nother level, guys, a whole nother level. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. And let me know, which webcam are you currently using? Are you using one of your phones as a webcam? Or are you using a built-in webcam in your, you know, in your MacBook, your PC, or, you know, maybe you have a different brand that you're kind of playing with? Let me know. All right. So anyway, guys, this is a PTZ-R camera. What that means is pan, tilt, zoom, just like the smaller one, but the R stands for rotate. So you can actually, with the smartphone app, you can change the orientation from landscape, which is going to be what you guys are looking at right here. This is considered to be landscape. Portrait would be a more narrow of a frame, which would be your 9:16, like what you're accustomed to seeing on Instagram, TikTok, sometimes on YouTube here in Amazon as well. But Both of those are available with this camera. The camera has a bunch of plug-in features right here, and it also has the ability to use an SD card for internal recording. You can also live stream right from this camera. Now, of course, it does not have a SIM card like some of the other devices that I have here, where you can actually just use it like a phone, and have its own hotspot. It doesn't have that. You still have to connect it to some type of Wi-Fi. But let's take a look at all the different ways you can go live with this camera. So if we look here on the back, you guys can see we have the OTG right here for connecting this to a Mac or PC, which is just your USB-C. You have your standard USB-C also with this guy for powering it or charging it. You have Ethernet. So, a lot of, cameras can also provide power and video over Ethernet. So that's another way you can go live with it. You also have SDI. So a lot of your more professional video solutions are going to use SDI connection cables, and it has SDI built into it as well. It has a full-size HDMI, where its predecessor had a mini HDMI. So that's a huge difference, a huge update from the Tail Air 2s to this version of the camera, okay? You also have your RS-232s. That's going to be for your old school PTZ controllers like you probably have in your church or your conference room, or people were using like in sports arenas and things like that. You have line in mic in here for audio. So you have line and mic for audio. There's no headphone jack for this. I said headphone, but I meant line or mic. So now this camera does not have built-in microphones, where all of the others do have built-in microphones. But with that in mind, most people using a camera like this, they're going to be using a professional microphone, whether it's wireless, whether it's shotgun microphone, whether it's a broadcast microphone. They're going to be using something. They're not going to be relying on the microphones built into the camera. Okay, so keep that in mind. Don't see the fact that this does not have microphones built into it as a detractor, because trust me, it is not. The video quality, all of the other functionality of that thing, far exceed any of those other shortcomings of the fact that it does not have a built-in microphone. Now, if you do want a PTZ camera that can record internally, live stream, and all that other kind of stuff, and have built-in microphones and use Bluetooth microphones, then this next guy right here might be the one to tickle your pickle. That would be this camera right here. Let me grab it. That would be this guy right here. So this is the Ozbot. This is the DJI Pocket 3, okay? Now, my bundle did come with the Mic 2. This is a Bluetooth microphone. It has 32-bit float. That means when you enable 32-bit float, you do not have to worry about peaking or being too low or being too loud. It's basically raw audio. So if you're familiar with raw photos or raw video, then this is raw audio, which, trust me, is a win, guys. Now, the camera itself comes with a bunch of accessories. Right now, this camera is, let me check again, $797. Yes, it is. Is it $797? Let me check. I don't want to tell you guys wrong. Yes, it is $797. It was $849 yesterday, and it's come down to $797, which is a good indicator, okay? So with this guy, you have a 2.5 by 1 inch screen right here. This can do portrait or landscape. You can literally just, rotate the screen when you want to go into portrait. It'll just, it'll just crop into the sensor, rotate it back. Now it's back to what you guys see here, which is your 16 by 9. The other one is your 9 by 16. It has a joystick control here, so I can move the gimbal around by just using this little joystick. You have your record button here. You can input up to a 512 gigabyte SD card right in here. This has tracking capabilities as well. You can tap on the screen and you can have it track a person, place, or thing. I use this camera literally every single day, guys, for content that I create. I have it set up right here in the studio on this little stand. When I'm doing my talking head segments, you could probably, if you've seen those videos, it looks like this background that you guys see right behind me. And this camera is usually facing me, but usually with the monitor facing me, so I can see what the camera sees. And that's another advantage to a camera like this. It's got a built-in monitor. Now, this is not an action camera. So if you're looking for an action camera, you know, where you're going to be going scuba diving and jumping off of things and jumping over things, you probably want to go the GoPro route, okay? Because that's going to be a more reliable, you know, type of camera in those type of scenarios, right? But if you're blogging, you know, creating shoppable videos, content, recording somebody's, you know, recital, somebody's wedding, whatever it is, this has image stabilization built in because of the gimbal. So yes, you can walk with it, but you have to learn the little ninja walk so that you don't bob up and down when you're walking. But if you're just moving forward like this, it is a very, very stable camera, guys. Very stable, very good for orbiting around things. Very good for pushing in and pulling out on things. Even if you were to put yourself in like a little chair, let somebody roll you around. Like, I have seen videographers do that. I'm telling you, I've seen them do that. But that's usually done with big cameras, you know, just because they're so heavy. It's easier to just put somebody in a little, you know, wheels chair and just kind of push them around. And then they just, you know, they're sitting there just holding the camera as steady as they can to try to get the shot. If there's a will, there's a way. Okay. But anyway, this camera is outstanding, guys. 4K, 60 frames a second, standard video. You can also do 4K up to 120 frames a second, you know, slow motion. So a lot of built-in features with this guy. All right, let me go ahead and power this off. You guys will notice the head will rotate back into place, you know, into its security mode, and it's pretty much good to go. I have this little cage on here that has magnets. The microphone also has magnets for clips. You can easily clip this onto yourself. I also let this just kind of live on the back of the back of the camera like that. And when I put it away, if it's not going in a case, if it's just going to be sitting on a desk, this is kind of how it looks. All right, so yeah, there we go. All right, let's see what time it is. It is 8:27. We got a few more items left in the carousel, and then we're going to roll on up out of here. All right, guys, so the next item in the carousel is something that you definitely will see your boy Rome wearing on the upcoming cooking stream, and that it was going to be this apron right here, which I'm just going to throw on for y'all just because I can. So this has a really nice adjustable head strap. Even with my headphones on, I can still put this guy on. It's got really nice 2 pockets right here for like your spatulas, your thermometer, whatever it is, your cell phone. While you're cooking, you can just have all your stuff in there. Really nice, really nice. This is made from a water wicking, oil wicking material, and it comes with some really cool little sayings. This one right here is probably one of my favorites. It says, "That's what I do. I cook and I know stuff." Okay, so if you know me, especially in the real world, you know that this definitely represents me. So I want to thank the special person that did send this apron to me as a gift. Thank you very much. All right. So what do we have next? Next item in the carousel I do not have in the studio yet, but I did want to go ahead and feature it. Hopefully it'll be here before our cooking stream. Now this is a carving knife. You guys already saw a couple of nights ago, I did a video showing you guys a new knife set that I got not too long ago. This knife right now is $42.99. It's a carving knife. It's going to be for carving big pieces of meat, you know, poultry, seafood, whatever it is that you're working with. It's a thinner blade, but it's about 9 inches in length. I think the total length of the knife is a little over 10 inches or something like that. Let me check. Anyway, somebody was watching my cooking stream and they're like, "Rome, you need a better knife for all that chopping and cutting and stuff you do." And I'm like, "Yes, you're probably right." And they're like, "Okay, we got you, bro. We got you." So that would be this knife right here. So let me switch over here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. So that's going to be this knife right here. So this, again, like I said, this is a carving knife. It has the Damascus steel type of styled metal here. That's going to be your folded bladed metal. Very, very sharp. I'm excited about this. I can't wait to get it so I can, you know, preview it here for you guys, do some knife skill demos with it, maybe cut up some fruit or vegetables or maybe even some proteins. You know, you don't know. We'll see how it goes. But, you know, it gives you a lot of information on the blade right here. It's an olive wood handle. That's very nice. Also very water resistant, so you don't have to worry about this getting wet or sticky or something like that. The price on this blade is really nice. I've been looking at a lot of different blades. I can honestly tell you that's a great price for what you're going to get, $42.99. Definitely check it out. If you have a chef, a budding chef, a home cook, somebody who does these things on a regular basis, and especially if you're one of the people that get to eat the meals, give them some good tools, guys. You are going to benefit from them having good tools. That's all I can say. All right, so the next item in the carousel is from a couple of weeks ago. I don't remember the last time I used this product, but it is my waffle stuffer. So you guys have seen me use this thing multiple times. And basically what it is, it's a waffle maker that gives you the ability to put things inside of the waffle. Okay. That means you can take regular pancake batter and convert that into something sweet or something, savory. So you could add some little seasonings to the pancake batter to make it more savory. Then maybe you could put some beef or chicken or seafood or whatever it is into pre-cooked into the batter, and then make a really cool waffle from that. Cheddar cheese waffle. Yes, Terry. Yes, you could do that. Yes, you sure could. You sure could. You sure could. And it's only $49.99. I'm telling you. Y'all give me some other ideas of what you would make with that waffle maker. So I don't know what I'm going to make on our cooking stream, but if you guys, really want to see me make something with the waffle maker, I will find some way to incorporate the waffle maker into the meal for the cooking stream on Friday. So just, let me know if that's something y'all want to see. I'll make it happen. All right. Because I love y'all. I love y'all. And I want to make y'all happy and educate you and inform you and all that other kind of stuff. But most importantly, entertain you. All right, y'all. Let's keep it rolling. So we have one more item left in the carousel. And you guys know I talk about this item every single stream. So let's go ahead and make this no different than any other stream, which is our drawstring backpacks. Let me grab it under the desk here. That would be these drawstring backpacks that you guys see right here. You can get these on Amazon right now for $9.99. You can get them one solid color for all of them, or a variety pack that has a bunch of different colors. So these are going to be great because you guys can see a big open mouth here. These can easily be used. Reusable shopping bags, storage bags, camping bags, you name it. Now, I love to use these as a way of delivering items to the homeless in my community. We fill these with things that we buy right here on Amazon, guys. Toothpaste, toothbrush, shampoo, conditioner, hand sanitizer, pens, pencils, Band-Aids, those tablets that you can put in the water to sanitize the water, reusable water bottles, socks, underwear, female products, whatever we can get, we put in these backpacks and we just ride around with these in our vehicle. And if we come across somebody at a stop sign or a convenience store or an entrance of a building or whatever it is, and they're asking for help, we just pass on one of these bags of love and we get on about our day. We get on down the road and we do what we do, okay? But we know at that point in our hearts, we have done some good. We have shined our light on someone and we have encouraged them and let them know that there are still good people in this world that are doing good things and want the best for them. Y'all know how we do. Y'all know how we do, my babies. All right, so let me go back over here to my man Louis so Louis can say good night to everybody. And and then we're going to wrap it up. But like I said, I'll be back here in 48 hours. Louis is probably going to tell y'all the same thing. I'll be back in 48 hours for our cooking stream. All right, let's pop over to my man Louis. There he is. There he is. Bright-eyed Louis. Hey, Louis. I'd like you to thank everybody for hanging out with us tonight on Amazon and YouTube, and let them know we will be right back here in 48 hours for our next cooking stream.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you all for hanging out with us tonight on Amazon and YouTube. We'll be right back here in 48 hours for our next cooking stream.
That's right. That's right. That's right. What would you like to see me cook, Louis?
We'll make sure to be right back for the next exciting cooking stream.
What would you like to see me cook, Louis?
I'm curious to see what you enjoy doing. Do you have any interesting hobbies or activities you would like to share?
I don't know what I'm going to cook, but we'll come up with something. What do you think?
Cooking is always fun to experiment with. How about trying something new? Like a fusion dish? Maybe mix and match some ingredients you haven't used together before. Let me know if you need recipe ideas.
Yes, fusion. That is a great idea, Louis. A fusion dish could be a great idea for a live stream.
Fusion dishes are always a fun and exciting twist. I'm eager to see what creative combinations you'll come up with. Maybe a sushi taco or curry pizza? The possibilities are endless.
Did you say curry pizza?
Absolutely. Curry pizza is a delightful fusion idea. Imagine the rich, aromatic flavors of curry sauce topped with your favorite pizza toppings. It's a taste adventure worth trying.
Well, I can tell you what we're going to make tonight for dinner if you want to know.
Absolutely. I'd love to hear what you have planned for dinner tonight. What's on the menu?
I'm going to make homemade meatballs and pasta.
That's great. What's on the menu for tonight?
Homemade meatballs and pasta, baby.
Homemade meatballs and pasta sound absolutely delicious. I bet it'll be a fantastic meal. Can't wait to hear how it turns out.
I will definitely let you know when it's done. All right, my man. All right, y'all. So it's about that time. It's about that time to do that thing. Do that thing. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Let's go. Smokey's in the house. All right, my babies, stay safe out there, guys. Wash your hands, wear a mask when appropriate. Take care of your loved ones. Get out there and create something amazing each and every single day. Be that pebble in the pond, my babies. Be that pebble in the pond. Don't talk about it. Be about it. Get done. Get some good things going in your world. Attract other people to help you build that momentum going forward. I'm telling you guys, there's a lot of great, amazing things you can do in this world every single day. There is no one that's too old. There's no one that's too sick. There's no one that's too left behind. Everyone can contribute. So do your best, guys. Put it out there. Encourage others. Find your tribe and get it done. Get her done. Y'all know what I'm saying. All right. So, yeah. So anyway, that's about it for tonight. So time for me to say them magic words. Y'all already know. Here we go. Here we go. Peace, peace, and blue muffin grease. I am out. Boom, 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 my babies. I am out of here. I love y'all. Mwah. But I got to go because it's dinner time. Dinner time. Time for Rome to make some dinner. The dinner. The dinner. All right, y'all. I love y'all, but I'll see y'all right back here in 48 hours. That's Friday night, right here at 7 p.m. on Amazon and YouTube. Love y'all. I'm out.